Welcome back to the FM Realty Report. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about the development of some of the projects that we've mentioned in the beginning. We said all these companies that are coming in, but to some of you who have been following us from the very beginning, probably curious, well, at what point they're going to be breaking ground. So we've done research. We're here to give you an update on where they are, whether you're, an investor who's looking to get some update information, or maybe a permanent resident.
Yep. And we find still to this day that there's people who don't believe some of these things are happening. So I think we'll consistently be giving updates just to show people that all we've talked about in the past is in fact true.
Yeah, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was the intent. And of course, we can't start off with this without mentioning Micron, the biggest investment project that New York State has ever seen.
Yeah, it's the biggest private investment in the history of the United States.
$100 billion.
Yeah.
And that it's over the span of 20 years. And they actually are beginning to break ground in November.
Yep.
There have been some environmental hurdles they had to overcome, and that's been all done. And it's scheduled for November the 2025th. One of the interesting things that I need to mention, and it's about the sewage pump, which has been updated to handle the Micron and the neighborhood. So they are the area will benefit from that.
Yeah, that's a county project that they started and had to start early on to make sure that we had the capacity, and that's going along very well.
Great. They are planning on 4 fabrication plants, and you mentioned there was a stage, right?
Yeah, the CHIPS Act, the Federal CHIPS Act, the state money. My understanding is that Micron is contractually obligated in order to receive the money to build the first 2 fabs. The third and the fourth fab, of course, we're talking 20 years out. Depends what happens in the marketplace. Every expectation is they're going to build all 4. And the infrastructure in place and the money they're putting in the ground is going to be able to handle all 4. So people aren't going to be putting that kind of money into the ground without serious intention to go ahead with it. But the first 2 fabs are what's starting in November, and those have to be completed. But in total, all 4 fabs are going to bring 9,000 plus or minus jobs directly to Micron, an additional 40,000 jobs to support not only Micron, but you're going to need another gas station. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. And there's going to be 4,500 construction jobs. And an interesting thing about a lot of those construction jobs, this is specialty construction. And a lot of these workers aren't just going to come here for 18 months. They're going to be here for years. And they're going to need housing. So
absolutely. And you know who to contact for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shameless plug.
We have to do that.
They're also part of the Community Investment Fund, which is, I believe, roughly $500 million, but maybe they're not at $500 million now. But it is for over a span of 20 years, and that is for workforce training, child care, and overcoming the employment barriers.
As well as many other community issues that the Community Foundation put together. Folks from the Community Foundation put together a task force. I think there were 16 people on it to really find out where that money is going to be spent. There's 350 in the pot right now, 350 million in the pot right now. And they've issued their report. And as the money becomes available, and it's not just Micron money. A lot of people think Micron's writing out a check for $500 million. They're putting in huge amounts of money, but so is the Empire Development Corporation, and other entities are putting money into the pot too. But it's all community directed. Micron or this entity is not telling people what to do. The community and the community leadership is going to be deciding, with input from the community, what to do with those funds. And that's already started.
That's good. And when someone thinks of manufacturing of that scale, they're often thoughts of contamination and greenhouse gases and all that things. But I'm happy to announce that this factory is going to be LEED gold design. 100% water reuse. Carbon-free electricity, and zero waste goals, potentially for the green hydrogen.
Yeah, Micron has publicly stated that their intention to make this something that doesn't exist now within the industry. And yes, the environmental impact statement came out. Some people have some questions, and questions are legitimate. We need to have answers. They're going to use, for instance, a tremendous amount of water. If they open all 4 plants, we're going to need twice the water that we have now. And that's actually additional pipe from Onondaga Lake is actually in the pipeline as we speak. It's being looked at as to how and who's going to pay for it and all of that kind of thing. But you're absolutely right. Micron has committed to making this, within the industry standards, a very green plant. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. Is it going to be something that is going to set a new bar? Absolutely.
Yeah, especially at that scale, it's very difficult to do.
Yep.
And that's so the pump I was talking about actually is the White Pine Pump Station.
White pipe pump.
I couldn't
pumps.
remember that
Yep.
earlier.
Yep.
And the On-Ramp Workforce Innovation Hub, the at 1300 South Salina Street, that's the first New York State providing training and job readiness program tied to Micron needs. I think this is where you were talking about the specialty jobs because it's a special project construction.
Yep. The STEAM school. The
Yeah.
STEAM school is accepting their first class in the fall of this year, and then the fall of next year, a second class, fall of the third year. So over a 4-year period, they're going to be going from freshman through senior. And again, that is a city-owned school, city-run school, but open to the entire county. When it's at full capacity, it'll be 1,000 students, of which 60% will be from the city of Syracuse, 40% will be from school districts throughout the county. And a lot of people talk about these kinds of schools, and they call them STEM schools. Ours is a STEAM school. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, which is really different, and then math. And just to speak of the arts, that's something near and dear to me. The theater in that building, acoustically, is the best space in the region. And it's being upgraded to state-of-the-art status. And in my former capacity as chairman of the City of Syracuse Landmark Preservation Board, we approved the plans. And it's going to be an 1,100-seat, state-of-the-art, acoustically superior venue that's going to knock people's socks off. It's going to be great.
And that is going to be in STEAM building.
That's going to be in the STEAM building right downtown, right across from where the central bus hub is now. And it's a downtown building. It's right in the southern end of downtown, right on Adams Street. It's just going to be great. It used to be the Central Tech High School, and it had been closed for many, 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 many years. And it's getting new life. It's getting reborn. It's unbelievable.
And are there other schools in our nation that are also STEAM, not STEM?
I don't know. Everyone I've heard of is a STEM. I would guess there probably are. But as far as I'm aware, this is the only one in this region for sure. And it's going to be the newest. It's going to be state-of-the-art.
Great. So on a little bit mixed use here, large-scale mixed-use redevelopment, we've mentioned our 2 malls that have gone to decommission. And if I remember correctly, in real estate class, was it 30-year life expectancy of the mall?
Yeah, I've heard that figure, 30
Yeah.
years life expectancy. What many malls have done around the country, they reinvent themselves. Destiny USA, that's 30 years old, and that's reinventing itself. And they're reinventing themselves more into an entertainment kind of a center, and that's what's happening. But Shopping Town and the Great Northern Mall, they're both huge projects, multifaceted projects, housing, retail, entertainment. Shopping Town and DeWitt, a lot of local people involved in that are kind of calling it downtown DeWitt. DeWitt doesn't have a downtown, and this is going to be envisioned as a downtown. It's envisioned for over 900 housing units. That'll be townhouses, apartments, luxury housing,
Yeah, in some articles I'm reading, they're calling it District East.
District East, right.
Yeah.
It still is tied up in the courts a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
county executive expects a decision in September, and the project would start within a year of the court decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the court decision is all about the county's ability to exercise eminent domain. The Sears and Macy's have been stores have been a subject of negotiation, and we've solved one, come to an agreement. Now we're working on the other. So it looks like the light's at the end of the tunnel there, but we're not 100% sure, and we're waiting for a court decision hopefully next month.
Yeah, and in some articles that I've read, they are estimating to start in 2026.
Yep.
But again, we'll wait to see what court decision is and see if it gets pushed back any further.
Right.
What
And
am
Great
I-
Northern has undergone some partnership changes, some redesign changes. That still is on board. Some articles that you and I have been reading say that they intend their timeline to start in 2026 is
Yeah.
still there. And that's going to be a mixed use
Absolutely.
center also.
Yeah,
And these are huge projects.
they are.
These are hundreds of millions of dollars. I think the latest number on Shopping Town is $450 million. And the Great Northern Mall at one point was $1 billion. I believe that's been scaled back. And some other companion developments in the vicinity will build upon what they're doing. And again, there's some redesign going on there and some restructuring going on there. But it's going to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. The Shopping Town Mall, they're estimating 450 million.
Yeah.
The Great Northern, just shy of 100 million, but you know how it is, it's always higher.
Sure, sure.
But these projects are kind of close to me. Why? I've been on other podcasts, and years back, I talked about Great Northern Mall specifically, and how amazing it would be to turn that into mixed-use residential
Absolutely.
and commercial space. And look at the space of parking lots
Oh,
that malls hold. And it's all this real estate. You can have carports with solar panels. You can have, same recycling of water, just like Micron is planning to do, and reuse some of the resources we have to kind of lower that.
the
greenhouse
sky's the
gas.
limit there. The sky's the limit in all of this kind of thing. And another interesting thing about the Great Northern, that Route 31, 81 intersection is the busiest traffic corridor in Onondaga County.
It is.
And with Micron, it's only going to get busier. So to have something of this scale being developed there isn't just nice. It's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed.
Absolutely. And I will follow that closely. I'll see if I can get involved somehow and get more details. But I love the idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing designs and how it's all going to come
Right.
together. But they are looking at, for Shopping Town Mall, over 900 residences, 250,000 square feet of retail entertainment, public green spaces, which, if you have pets or parks
Sure.
and things like that, I'm sure they're
Downtown DeWitt.
Yeah. And then the Great Northern, similar to Shopping Town Mall, plus they're adding apartments, townhomes, hotels, movie theaters, dining, and retail.
And both those projects, from what my understanding is, are going to have an affordable housing component, which is very much needed. And the interesting thing about both of those projects is they're both in centers where it's a hot market. As we said, that corridor there is just, for Great Northern, is immensely busy. DeWitt, that location is, you can drive from Shopping Town to downtown Syracuse in 6 minutes. So you can go down your boulevard, you can go down Genesee Street, and to have that proximity to our downtown metropolitan area in our first eastern suburb, first suburb east of the city, it's going to be a home run.
Absolutely. It's a great location for both
It's
both
a great
spots.
locations for both of them. And I don't want to change direction, but I do want to change direction and talk about the aquarium.
Yeah.
If you haven't been by the Inner Harbor and look what's going on, it's unbelievable. Not only the history of the past development in the Inner Harbor and Franklin Square and the new construction that's happened there over the years, completely revitalized, completely different place than what it was. It was a wasteland at one point, and it's just unbelievable what's happening there. And add this aquarium. I think I mentioned before, one of the stats that sticks out in my mind about that is the salt. They're going to have two aquariums, a smaller freshwater and a large saltwater. And the saltwater aquarium is going to be 375,000 gallons. Can you imagine what that weighs?
I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah, no, it's monstrous, and there's going to be a ground level clear tunnel that you'll be able to walk through.
Oh, those are popular.
Yeah, it's going to be very popular. And I was reading an article about the pylons and the number of pylons and how deep they had to go to support that kind of weight. People talk about a lot of different things, but just the technology involved and the technological hurdles that had to be overcome from a construction point of view on that are amazing. That's happening right here. Yeah. And that's scheduled to open late 2026, early 2027.
Were there any issues with funding, and then they got back on track?
Yeah, they're back on track. They're still looking for some funding for naming rights and that kind of thing. But it's full steam ahead.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not slowing down.
Like with the zoo, like the elephants were sponsored by one family.
Right,
and then, okay.
Right. And, in all of these, and I'm not making light of anything, but in all of these projects, you have an initial estimate. And does anybody think anything costs the same as it did 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Yeah, costs go up. Cost of financing goes up. Hopefully we'll have a rate decline maybe next month. But the costs do go up. And I know the initial estimate was $85 million, and now I guess it's pushing $100. And, that's tough, but it's kind of the nature of the beast.
Can we buy like a 20-gallon aquarium and say sponsored by FM Realty Group for maybe sea worms or something like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Another great development here, well, it's an addition, which is the Tech Garden expansion.
Oh, my gosh.
This one's pretty exciting, too. The cost of that is about $32 million expansion, and that is a 46,000 square foot addition to downtown tech in incubator.
Yeah, it's all about business incubation, innovation. I drove by there yesterday, and on Harrison Street, and it's amazing. I mean, all of a sudden it's starting to look like something, and it's huge. It's great.
That's already under construction.
That's right across from the Marriott.
Yes, that is and that's for the fuel innovation and tech startups as part of the Syracuse Surge Initiative.
Yep.
And then I want to mention one residential place, which I thought was interesting and where it's located. But there was a parade of homes in 2014 in the Clay neighborhood, which is called
Farmstead.
Farmstead, that's correct. Thank you. And now they are expanding.
Yeah. It's right down the street from where Micron's going to be.
Yeah,
so.
And that's why I thought it was kind of interesting how well they planted that there before knowing about Micron.
Yep.
Or did they?
Well, no, I don't think anybody in 2014 knew about Micron. Yet at the same time, Micron completely transformed what Farmstead's going to be.
Yes, and I think when they heard of it, they acquired more land and expanding more single-family homes. And they are, they're maybe 1,700 to 3,000 square foot homes. Your standard suburbs, and this neighborhood is off of a Maple Road, and they'll also the prices will range high, 380 or so up to 500,000.
It's probably going to push that even a little bit further. A couple other things that are worth mentioning that are going on is the new hotel on South Warren Street. That should be starting next year. They have to tear down an old parking garage, and there's a city open lot that's now a park that's going to be encompassed by this hotel. And that's a big project. I forget the price tag on that, $80 million, something like that. And another thing that people keep forgetting to mention, but you talk about just the economic impact, let alone the community impact and the health impact, is the emergency room improvement and rebuilding at Upstate. That's $450 million.
Wow.
I keep remembering something the county executive said when Micron was announced, and he was talking about a few years before that when Amazon came here, and Amazon built a $450 million warehouse here, and everybody was going gaga. Now, $450 million project in Central New York is chump change.
Yeah, especially with what's going on here. And just to touch on what many I haven't heard talk about, but and you just mentioned about the hospital, but with this kind of infrastructure and the flow of residents that we're estimating, I think it was roughly 65,000 people more, which is a lot for Syracuse. And
I've heard estimates as high as 100, 120,000.
oh, really? He keeps.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the demographics
Yeah.
of the people that come. Are they going to come with families? Are they going to come as single people? We don't know that yet. And that's part of our challenge when we start talking about development and housing, health issues, not knowing what that demographic is going to be, but knowing we're going to have an influx.
And knowing it's happening and they will be coming, we need to think about infrastructure and
You bet.
emergency services, police force, firefighters, EMTs, ambulances,
Absolutely.
expansions for hospitals, and not just in Syracuse area but surrounding areas
The
as
entire
well.
region. Absolutely.
Because they will get overwhelmed.
Yep.
I don't know, last time someone was in the emergency room, but it's a long wait.
Absolutely. I know I was talking to somebody who's an EMT with one of the ambulance services, and depending on the day and the night and the time, they've got an emergency and they can't get in anywhere. And they're stacked.
And
Multiple ambulances waiting to get into this emergency room or that emergency room. And that's why this investment in upstate is going to be so important, because it's more than needed. You mentioned fire, you mentioned police, you mentioned volunteer fire departments. They're under stress now. And these are real challenges that we're going to have to deal with it as a community.
Absolutely. And I hope that there is going to be money delegated to that and expansions to support firefighters,
Yep.
police forces, ambulances.
Well, the good news, again, about people coming, whether it's 40, 60, 100,000 people, they're all going to be coming here, spending money, and adding to our tax base, which our tax base has not increased countywide, townwide, citywide. Some towns have done better than others. Some suburbs have done better than others. The city has been really struggling until recently. So to have this influx, and this influx of sales tax revenue, property tax revenue, is going to be more than needed.
And I hope there's something happens with not just the hospital, but there are a lot of residents who see their primary doctors at private
Yep. Health facilities.
yes, and private practices. They're all struggling for nurses.
Yep.
So
We have a nursing shortage here that's critical.
it's
It's
tough.
critical.
It's tough. And
If anybody's listening and you're a nurse, or you know a nurse that is someplace and can't find a job, come to Syracuse tomorrow. You'll have a job
absolutely in a heartbeat,
in a heartbeat.
and it's so needed.
Yep.
It's not only gonna,
Physicians, assistants,
Yeah.
nurses, doctors.
all medical fields, and not only it's a guaranteed job for you, but it just you're helping the community that's struggling.
Absolutely. That's a good point,
And if
Roman.
we're not healthy, we can't continue to grow.
That's a good point, and it brings up what we've said multiple times. This is a modern Erie Canal moment for our region. This is going to transform us, and it's going to create something that hasn't existed here since Erie Canal days and post-World War II days. And again, it presents challenges. But the one thing that I'm very optimistic about is people are talking about this, people are planning about this, and I think everybody's got their head screwed on to the point where, yeah, these are things we got to really work on.
Well, I think this is a perfect spot to close up here.
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's following. Stay with us. We have upcoming guests coming up soon. There'll be some exciting and different information. Both Don and I work weekly to do our research and release these episodes for you, so we appreciate your following and support. If you have any interest in some of these new developments, whether you're interested in new construction homes or something that's been built and you want to reach out to us. You'll find Don's contact information and my contact information in the description. We'll be happy to assist you on that end.
Another shameless plug. We are in the real estate business, and we're here to handle your real estate needs.
Absolutely. And you'll be hiring somebody who's delivering this information and knowledge to you.
Absolutely. We look
And,
forward.
Again, follow us on social media too. We really appreciate that. And until next episode, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.